So we back with the next episode of the Brutal City Podcast with your boy Brutal, Sim on the scene, Wicked, and me.
Hey, what's good, AllCity fan? Bruce Squad, stand up. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Brutal City Podcast. Let's get right.
All right, man. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about, man. Y'all know what the podcast is about. It's basically like a weekly wrap-up, man. And me and my guy, AllCity, gonna attack some of the hot topics in the community, man. Now, the first thing we're gonna talk about, man, it seemed like the rec is becoming the new wave.
Say it.
And that's really new for me because I was hearing the days when people used to bash people in the rec in my career and say, yo, you're not a park player, you're not an anti player, you trash. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this new movement that's going on?
I think I think 2K forced us into this position. VC alone, the reward for playing in a particular game mode alone pushes people into the rec center, pushes people into 3v3 Pro-Am or Pro-Am game modes to get more reward for their time, the time invested, right? That's one. I also want to lean towards rec having better latency, maybe because there's not so much going on in the background. I don't know what it is. What you think? I don't know. Man, it just feels better.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You actually mentioned two things that I did not really think about. For real.
Yeah. Because why stop?
Like when you play in the park, like you literally play at the loss. Because if you want to be competitive, you gotta buy that boost. You gotta buy at least shooting and playmaking boosts for me because I'm a point guard. At least those boosts I gotta buy. If you play a different position, might be rebounding or whatever based on what position you play. But you gotta buy that. You might need Gatorade. In the rec, you don't really need that Gatorade. But when you get done buying those boosts and all that stuff, man, you playing at a deficit.
Yeah.
Damn near every time once you touch the park. But once it's in the rec, because you make over 1,000 something if you win.
Yeah. About 1,000, about a rack. Yeah.
Yeah. For real. I never thought about it. And the next thing is the latency. You are so on point with that one.
But why? Why is that a thing? Why? Be like, what is it that 2K can't figure out about a game? We got games like Battlefield. We got games like Call of Duty. We got games with a huge player base that they're dumping into one map. And they're able to manage latency where you got to have like milliseconds response time. If that gets disrupted, you're just at a loss. But then we got 2K, and they had trouble with latency.
2K servers again, man.
Yeah.
It seems like with what they try to do with the city might be too big for them to handle. All right, we could just say that in a nutshell, right? Because that's the only thing could explain why we're in the rec, we're not feeling latency or lag or all that stuff. You might get an error code here and there, the occasional error code and kicked out. Especially now, I forgot to mention is that Xbox actually dropped the patch widespread. You don't have to be part of the insider program no more. They dropped the patch where people now could play the game without it shutting off. So you might get the occasional error code, but not really delayed. Whereas if I play in the park, some games I'm just not hitting my shot. I feel more delayed than others. And I play the game a lot, so I know my shot to the T. And I could tell off the shot, like, I'm a little off, fellas.
Yeah, you know where I mostly notice it instantly? And you would ideally notice it off of your jump shot. But most of the time, I notice it when there's a lack of defensive responsiveness. When my player, like one person does a crossover and my player is already 2 steps behind him, I say, no, this is not gonna be a good experience, y'all. Let me know if you guys in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section if you guys experienced that same thing. But that's a huge indicator for me, and is one of the things that really led me to the rec center. I'm like, Brute. I'm just like you, bro. I normally would be in the park going crazy the whole season through, the whole annual cycle. This 2K?
But it ain't more. To me, it just seems like, and on top of that, I think like the patches they did to the defense, it's much easier to play defense in the rec. Not easier necessarily, but it makes more sense when you play team defense. When you're in the 5v5 situation versus a 3v3 where you got all that room and now the left right is just unguardable. Let's call it what it is. You reach up on a good left righter and a good screener with that brick wall on that 3v3.
They're doing it in the rec center in 5v5. I could only imagine the space in 3v3. Forget about it. It's like, man, you're giving him the world pretty much, a left, right. You're giving that guy the world. So rec being the new wave, it's a reality, y'all. It's a reality. You got like whole complete squads going into the rec center. And it's just a new wave.
100%, 100%. And a lot of pro-am people there. And what some people are telling me, like the only game mode they really play right now is the rec, or they go into the warehouses where you have these 3v3s and stuff like that, because they just don't like going out in the park and squads running up on them and just beating them down, right? And it takes too long to get games too. You gotta wait on that spot.
We spoiled now.
Then after you wait on the spot, a squad come and kick you off.
Imagine that. So that's something really wrong with that. I don't know. I've never had that experience, but I know a lot of you guys like to run out there and just, you want to get on out there. You're used to playing parks, so you hop on the dots. 2K is somewhat eliminating that idea of you being able to hop on a dot, because who wants to wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes to have some squad pull up and pull you right off the dots? That is discouraging.
Seems like you got to give them props. They actually drop different options, which people are now gravitating towards because of that problem in the park. Because this is a conversation that's been in the community for a while, right? People been talking about, get rid of dots. We want matchmaking. We want so this 2K, they actually gave us matchmaking, and it might be sometimes 2K has put some stuff out there to see how the community react. But from my understanding, it seems like the community is speaking loud, like, yo, we will go the matchmaking route if you give it to us, because most of us prefer to play these matchmaking game modes versus going on these dots and waiting. You know what I'm saying?
People's time is important. People's time is important, man. And I think people are done with the days of having to wait for a game. I remember Shakedown talking about this on one of his live streams, saying, hey, why am I waiting on dots? Who wants to sit here and watch other people play the game? You could go on YouTube and find the game to watch, but nobody's finna sit around watching people play a game. So I can see there's many reasons why rec is easily becoming the new wave, and latency and VC, the reward of VC, are two of the primary reasons. Not to mention I think the limitations on defense, like you mentioned, Brute, the limitations on defense are not as exposed when you play in a 5v5 game mode, like you would see
100%,
in the park.
100%.
Yeah, I could get that.
100%, man. And this will lead us to our next thing, because I've been hearing a lot of chirps, even in my comment section, because I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, that I hear people are actually going back. I had to pause before I say this because I can't believe it myself. But people was in my comment section like saying, yeah, I'm going back to NBA 2K21.
Say it ain't so. I don't want to hear it. Say it ain't so. Y'all definitely, there's no way that y'all going back to 2K21. If you went back to 2K21, let me know who you are in the comment section below, because, oh my God, 2K21 was a nightmare.
I'm telling you, because and this is something I said would happen too, right? I said eventually people would go back because they're in a place where they got to learn a new play style and stuff like that. And honestly, man, the game is still mad fun to me, but I don't enjoy park as much. I don't, because what I mentioned, the left, right, you got to deal with, like, you will lose to someone who just got a dominant point guard, just left, right, and left, right. And whereas in the rec, he needs some good people around him. He does. You need good teammates. Like, you could take a point guard of the game and force everyone else to score by just pinching that and force them to work the slip and force them to make more decisions. But in the park, completely different. But going back, though,
is it really worth going back? Like, is 2K22? I'm like you, bro. I'm still having fun on 2K22. I think there's still something there that just has it, where you're not feeling completely like animations are winning you a game. There's still some level of control there that we have with 2K22. Why I can't see why players will go back to 2K21. Maybe that fun factor, in the sense of getting those contact dunks and those contact bodies were something that you guys really enjoy. The NBA Jam.
Gotta deal with that bar no more.
Yeah, facts. You don't got to deal with the bar no more. You're getting put into automatic animations, making you look like a superstar. Maybe that floats your boat. Who knows? Maybe that's what it is. Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear about why y'all went back to 2K21, because I can't imagine, bro. That joint is deleted and will never be reinstalled again.
Really, man? You don't like that speed burst left and right?
Never.
Oh, that overpowered dunk in the next gen? You don't like it?
Never. We thought interior defense is bad in 2K22.
You don't want to go there and run with 3 power forward and dominate, bro.
Who needs a point guard?
Oh man! Why exactly? Why would you have and select a point and create a point guard?
Oh my god! I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I did kind of enjoy 2K21 when it was there, but nah, this one way better, bro.
Yeah,
it's not even close. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't see it close either, bro.
And one thing why I'm not surprised, because a lot of people are playing 2K22 like if it's 2K21, right? When you look at the speed burst, wrong screens, and all of that stuff, a lot of people brought that same style. Same thing. That's why I'm not even surprised.
I see. Right? As poor as interior defense is, which we'll get into a little later, but as poor as it is in 2K22 at moments, it was irrelevant in 2K21. It was like completely irrelevant in 2K21. So I like the idea that there is some interior defense in 2K22.
For real, when you really think about it, like defense was that big Achilles heel. And I think, man, I'm trying my best not to bash 2K, man. I always go back to those first set of patches that they did this year.
Heartbreaking.
That I think did a disservice to the game and the balance of the game.
Heartbreaking.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying my best not to bash 2K.
We were there, bro. Like, we were right there. We were on the verge of witnessing, especially for you new jacks out there. You new jacks, you rookies who are just getting on 2K for the first time. I'm not knocking y'all. It's just facts. If you just got on 2K for the first time, you're speaking to two veterans, or you're watching two veterans right now who've been on the game for years, over a decade playing the game. So we were on the verge of witnessing one of the best 2Ks ever released.
Yes, bro.
And 2K, in one swing of the bat, one patch, just changed it all. Not to say that it can't be. Not to say that it can't be a good game. But
after promising us we're not gonna touch gameplay for a while.
There's a tweet. It's there. It's black and white.
They promised us, bro. They said, now we're going to let y'all, and then we're going to take a look at it. But, bro, it was like damn near the second patch. It was one of the early ones that Mike Wayne we just buffed Unpluckable.
I don't think they realized what that buff meant for the gameplay.
And the follow-up?
Yeah.
And the follow-up was, we just nerfed on-board steals.
It makes you wonder if the devs play the game. Like, do the devs actually get out there and play the game? They obviously don't play it enough or have enough online experience to see what players. By now, we're 2 decades in for 2K. We should know like the tendencies of players. 2K community is going to find out the exploits. They're going to take advantage of those exploits. We're going to just have that year in and year out. 2K should know this by now, and they should try to limit exploits. This year, they dropped a game that completely limited exploits, and then they in turn patched it to actually give exploits another opportunity for 2K.
Facts, man. And that's just sad, bro. And I think that turned off a lot of people. Even to go on to what we was moving on to next, right? Is that a lot of people are saying the game is dead. A lot of people out here I'm hearing it's all over the place. I'm not seeing it. Maybe the park might be a little, but I'm not seeing it, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, because I'm on 2K every day. So you guys know I'm live streaming every day. Bruce live streaming every day. We out here. We're playing the game, finger on the pulse. We're out there trying to get a good feel for the community and what's going on in 2K. In my personal experience, especially with creating new builds, I don't see that 2K is dead. What I can say is that there's a limited evolution now. So I think we reached our peak as far as how the game will evolve so far. With these current patches, I don't see any evolution unless they kind of just revert back. They would have to go back to previous patches, but I don't see them making the game any better than what it currently is unless they revert back to what we had at the beginning of the year. So maybe evolution has reached its peak and people see that as at its peak and maybe they're not happy with that.
Yeah, I think it might be because right now we're late in the season as well. A lot of people hit their 40s and there are just a bunch of games to play. Like if you think about it, I've been playing Vanguard. I've been playing Halo. I've been playing Forza. I've been playing, bro. It got so much games to play right now, and that's why I like the new system is that I don't have to know life. Like I could pick up the game and go mess with my wife, bro. Just annoy her a little bit. You don't like me to annoy her a little bit just because I got some spare time and go back to my grind and get 40. You know what I'm saying? So now, and the next thing is like, bro, they know. Well, most people go into these matchmaking things like we mentioned before. They're not going to the park and stand on these dots and wait as much like wait and all that stuff, and they got to deal with that left, right. So they go into. So I think most people that probably play park might be saying, "Wow, he's not as lively as he used to be. The game's dead." But I don't think the game's dead at all.
I don't see the game dead. You don't have to wait. One of the indicators for like the game being dead, if you guys ever played a game that doesn't have like a huge player base, when you go into a lobby, you're waiting there for a long time. Those are one of the indicators that a game is dying or is dead. 2K is alive and it's well. You go into these matchmaking modes and you're getting into a game instantly, right into a game. That means there's a huge player base out there. There's no waiting.
And to come, and I just remember that the like Mitchell and them, he had a back and forth on Twitter. I don't know if you were aware of this.
No, I wasn't.
With someone bringing up a stat showing that NBA 2K22 is in the top 10 most played game for next gen. And Mitchell, even Corey or Mitchell came and said that their data is showing them that more people are on NBA 2K22 now than they were last year around this time. 70-something% more. It was like around 70 or 75% more.
That's believable. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's our experience. I'm sure it's your experience too. I mean, more people, I don't know, maybe I could say it's my experience, but it seems like there's not a lack of players onto, even with, we got a huge community in our Discord. We get a lot of feedback and stuff. So it's like we're not hearing like whispers of the game being dead. I don't know if this came from like a top-down effect where there's some content creators that are influencing viewers.
I think it's more content creators saying that.
Yeah, because I don't see it.
And it might be that they're watching their views and how their views are fluctuating. You know what I mean? And bro, I ain't gonna front. I know how you missed this back and forth.
Yeah, I missed it.
Because I ain't, bro. Like Corey and Mitchell was on their shit. They was like, bro, it's not our job. Our job is to get as much people engaging on our platform as much as possible. And we are having people engaging on our platform. Maybe it's the content creators.
Wow. I can see that.
I'm not making it up.
Yeah, I can see that, bro. Yeah, the ego on some content creators is through the roof. And when the views start going down, we had to suffer. I had personally had to suffer through 2K21 and just a huge drop in views, or at least a very limited progression as far as being a content creator. But that still did not lead me to say something about the game that wasn't fact, or at least my truth. A lot of content creators' egos get the best of them, and they say something, and there's no shots because I don't really pay attention to content creators like that. So I don't know who's saying what. There's not a shot at anybody, but there's more so, hey, if you're a content creator saying the game is dead, it's just not to be fact. We're out there, we're playing the game. So
yeah, for real, it's not true. And that was, bro, I was in the front seat, man. I ain't gonna front you. It was entertaining to me, and I like back and forth. I like people talking this shit. But when he brought up and said that 77% more, I was like, oh, yeah, now for sure we know that, like 2K and business. You know that business people, they act on statistics. They know how much people is on their game and stuff like that. So to them now looking at it like, bro, it's not our fault. We got more people on the game than ever. So what are y'all talking about? Y'all are just putting out negative energy because y'all are trying. And this is not me putting words in their mouth to try to create.
That was heated, bro.
That's basically what he was saying, and that's what I was like. Oh, okay.
It was heated, and I can see
deserve that.
Yeah. I think they do deserve it. You know, for as much as 2K takes away from us, they actually have given to us this year with a ton of like VC giveaways on their 2K Twitter, banner giveaways, locker codes, your giveaways for the daily rewards are better. Halloween, Christmas is here. You know,
2K.
They've given.
Watch it, man. Thanksgiving is around the corner, and then Christmas.
Man. Yes, do something big, 2K.
Trick or treat, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
was good. Like that. You know, figure out something, man. Come to something for some turkey or something, man. Just give me some free stuff.
Some free. I'm giving thanks playing 2K. Some free. Give me some thanks for playing 2K.
The amount of money I spend in this game.
Big facts, bro. Spending so much money on you, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's annoying, man. Let's move on to a different direction now, man, because this is a growing concern in the company. I'm hearing a lot of echo in this that 2K need to do something about interior defense. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. So you guys know, if you guys been following me on my channel, you guys know how I'm feeling about interior defense. I've created, I'm on my third player, and which is, it's really sad what I'm seeing out there. I'll give you guys my take so far on interior defense. I created a 7-3 first, and I was trying to follow in the wave. I've never created a 7-3 player ever, but I was trying to follow the wave because I kept hearing from players that 7-3s are just goated. Wasn't my experience in 2K. I created my 7-3. I didn't like the way he moved. He moved slow. He wasn't. People were laying the rock up in my grill. It was just frustrating interior defense. So I said, maybe it was because he's slow. Let me create a 6'10". Create a 6'10". Bring him out. Better defense. Thinking he's going to be way more responsive as a rebounding wing build. He was all right. He was good. It was much more responsive, but still, just interior defense. You guys know hands up is a nightmare. What did they do? What did 2K do to hands up defense? It's always been a thing. If you're a 2K head, you don't jump. Everybody will tell you, don't jump. Stay hands up. Don't jump. You'll get a good contest. That's been flipped completely on its head. I mean, upside down, somersault, all that flipped on its head. And now, if you put your hands up, they're scoring 2 points almost 9 times out of 10. At least that's what it seems like. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
My third build, just recently made them this week, 6'8". So I kept going smaller and smaller. I do got to say, some of the things that I've noticed in regards to interior defense, it seems that at 6'8", that I'm way more responsive. I'm able to strip the rock. I got a higher steal. Ball stripper kicks in. You're able to swipe with a higher steal attribute, it makes you able to swipe at a player a lot faster than with a big player swiping. He goes into some long-winded swipe animation. So some of the things that I've noticed about interior defense, it just seems like is leaning more towards smaller players and rewarding smaller players in regards to interior defense, and that's probably why it's so difficult with these larger players. So that's what I've noticed so far. Unreal.
Yeah, I would always recommend, like, because Gambit, Gambit that runs with me all the time. Like, since I've been playing with him, I started to look at that center position different because he always create the shorter type centers, and he is our elite defender. But one thing he always says, speed always beats everything in 2K, especially when it comes to defense. Talking about switching directions, very important, that reaction time. You're talking about getting down the court, like he beats his players down the court. You're talking about getting back on defense, like even like the help and recovery. That's one thing. Like I think his build might be around 6'9", 6'8" is what he usually like. Previous years he would go 6'7" to 6'8". This year he went, I think, around 6'9", around there, 6'9" to 6. Somewhere between 6'9" and 6'7" is his sweet area. You know what I mean? So that might be why, because he's one that looks at everything. I'm talking about he is obsessed with defense. Obsessed. That's why I play with him, because I like defensive-minded people. Right? So I could see why you said that 7-3, because I heard when people were saying that 7-3, I was like, nope. Unless you're playing with a full team that understand that you slow as hell and they will help you a lot.
Right.
That 7-3, if someone put you in a pick and roll, you dead.
Dead in the water.
I don't care what
dead in the water. With these left-right players, you trying to run a 7-3 out there?
Bro, you moving in mud. All right? You dead. All right? If someone coming, you try to help to recover, you dead. Like two people is collapsing you at the same time, you are dead in the water.
Talk about the chase down animation with a 7-3 versus a smaller player. Chase down, the animation activates much more frequently depending on how much speed you actually, or momentum you develop before you trigger the block animation. 7-3s cannot develop. They have slow acceleration, they have slow speed. They cannot develop that momentum to trigger better chase down animations, which is what I'm noticing with the 6-8 build. That speed and momentum that he develops so quickly just launches me into the air with the chase down animations. So beautiful.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that I could see why with that interior defense thing. And a next thing too, when it comes to interior defense, and I think they should do something, but I think they can't go overboard either. Because they're trying to still make it fun for people to go in and finish and just not let everyone just free horror. Just, you know what I mean? Just,
ball,
you know what these left right people do? And just they're trying to make it still attractive in the paint. And one thing he does, like one thing I do personally, because I got 6'8", new 6'8", I love to play interior as well. I put my hands up, but that's not all I do. Only until I see like they initiate like when you play like me too long, you start to know the animations. So once I see an animation kick in that he can't get out of, going up to, that's when I jump. Like you could jump later.
Yeah, big facts. Yeah,
you could jump later with shorter builds. That is, because I would never go with a 7-3. I'm sorry, I just won't.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So, I'm glad you didn't even take the chance to make a 7-3. It was such a nightmare. What are you guys doing to 7-3 out there?
I won't do it. I'm sorry.
For every time I say that a 7-3 is a nightmare, I get like 15 players talking about their 7-3 is goated.
Everyone says that until they go after someone who's good.
Yeah.
It's goated until you go at me and Gabby say, yo, we got a 7-3. And I'm like, okay, let's run a bunch of pick and pops or pick and rolls on them. All right, what are you going to do with that 7-3? You're going to drop in the paint? Because that's the only strength you got as a 7-3 is in that paint. I don't care what no one says. You think you out of that paint? You as a 7-3 that knowing you like to block shots, because that's why you're creating a 7-3. You like to block shots and you playing with a stretch. They're just standing in and hash. What are you going to do? You're going to feel like, oh, damn, I hate it. I hate this game that we're playing right now because I can't be in my strength. I gotta be out there and defend this 3-point shooter. That if I even try to get a block, they're dotting him as the truth. So I hear that, and I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I it's tough. It's tough for the 7-3. I think 2K by now should have made it, especially when we were supposed to have a year where defense was supposed to reign supreme. 7-3 should have had a better year in regards to interior defense. I gotta tell you that I've seen all sorts of players out there just, these pump fakers and then going right back up, and you try to have hands up, or you're trying to go into a jump animation or time that jump animation. The ball should have been sent to the other side of the court more times than not, but they're pump faking themselves into a layup animation. I can't understand why people are satisfied with pump faking and then laying the ball up. I think it'd probably do a better service if they were able to pump fake and then go into a crazy dunk animation. Not that they have to complete it, but at least there's an animation that says, I'm going to dunk it. Everybody's happy with a layup animation after a pump fake. And I can't understand where this is coming from. But
it's funny. Even what's funny, I know most builds out there without layups or close shots.
And they're just laying the rock up, and it's so frustrating because you're like, yeah, I'm right there, bro. That should be tossed to the other side of the court.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just not going down. I don't know if it's fast switch, grace under pressure was allowing them. I'm sure a lot of you guys think you have the solution. I believe is more so just a poor interior defensive mechanic that's in 2K right now, a slider that 2K could actually adjust and change the whole game.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't agree with him with this because I don't want no big ass bill stopping me from going to the rim. I'm selfish. I don't care. I like going and dunking on bigs. This is a situation where I'm aware of everything, and I know I'm biased in certain areas, and I will admit it to y'all, man. I don't always want balance. Sometimes I just want my point guards to dunk on bigs. It just looks better. All right, that might be wrong. In fact, I know it's wrong.
Facts, but yeah, it's fun, I guess. I get it. It's fun. The joint is fun.
And when I'm on the next end, I want to block these small at the same time. So,
facts, bro.
Yeah,
you want to see
that with my point guard.
Yeah, you want to down. I get both sides. It's just when you create a game, I've been trying to make a center, dominant interior defender for years now. Rebounding, rim protectors way back when. For years, I've been trying to get that dominant defensive center. And I've always had to sacrifice what I thought should be logical for 2K sensible. And again, I did it again this year. I was forced to sacrifice logic for what makes sense in 2K and went with a 6'8", and that's where I'm having the most fun with a 6'8", defending the paint, which is
wild. My guy One Shot Blizzo will agree with you because he's a center guy all these years, and me and him always going at it because he's always riffing about y'all doing centers wrong, and I'm always like, yeah, good, y'all centers are too OP in the first place. So I'm always aware of that conversation, man. It's always, entertaining to me, but I do understand what you're saying at the same time. A lot of centers out there feel like they've been done wrong. So that is that argument. And it's up to 2K to find that perfect balance at the end of the day. Like I say, I'm selfish in what I want. The bigs are selfish in what they want. It's on them to find that good balance.
Yeah, in order to find balance. So just a slight elaboration on this interior defense. Interior defenders are taught from young that you have to do your work early. If you're going, you got to do your work early, get into position for the board, get into position for a good defensive contest. You're thinking, do your work early. And to add to that as well, I do want to mention that 2K doesn't seem to be honoring their 3-second rule. 3 seconds are turning into 10, 15 seconds real quick.
In 2K in years, bro.
Yeah, they are not honoring that joint. That joint is easily turning into 10 seconds, and now more than ever, we're seeing there's 2K21. There was a driving game. This year, it's a pump faking game. So they're in there, they get in, the offense gets into, they dig themselves into the paint and they pump fake their way into 2 points.
Or there's something that Gambit mentioned, that once someone is standing right below the basket behind the rim there, they won't allow you to jump to defend it. So once they're standing there, it's an automatic bucket once they go up. All right. Why am I helping out centers again? I'm for point guards. Hey, let's move on to the next subject before you catch my point guard from dunking on people, man. Now we're gonna talk about, and this has been a conversation for a while now. I haven't pushed it in a good minute because I was one of the few people that was pushing this, is cross-platform on future 2Ks, because I don't think they'll do it in this 2K, but future 2Ks, man. What are your thoughts on cross-platform coming to 2K?
I don't know why 2K is behind the ball on this one. No pun intended. I can't figure out why they're behind the ball, because we got so much larger games with larger like game mode player bases, and I mean to say, like, you could stuff 100 players into one server, and they're from all different platforms: PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, all in one server playing the same game. 2K, on the other hand, just can't seem to. I don't know if there's some politics on the back end that we're unaware of, but they just don't seem to want to get on board with this cross-platform gameplay. So I don't know what it could be, bro. I just can't get it. I mean,
there are a few things that I learned over the years. Of course, as I said, I've been pushing it a while now. One is that there's a paywall when it comes to PlayStation. There's a paywall. But people are still doing it. Of course, people are paying, going past the paywall because they understand it's better for the game or whatever, and bring the community together. On the PC side, though, anti-cheat is a must for PCs. That's because of what PC offer you. Like, you install something, you can go into the file, see every single thing. You could tweak it, and like you see it on all the time when it comes to PC games, right? And this is why I feel like 2K and drop a next gen for PC yet. We know there's PC that can run this game, but one thing that you notice, when they drop current gen on PC, they were leaking what was the legend rewards already.
They got into those player files and they saw everything and they showed it to everybody.
Everybody. So I think 2K fear PC players. I don't think they're willing to invest in that anti-cheat when it comes to PC, because if you're having cross-platform, you have to. All these games that we're talking about does have PC in it as well, I believe. When I'm thinking about Battlefield, Call of Duty.
Yeah, you're playing against players that are using a mouse, and it's scary. There's a huge difference in competition.
PC. I mean, I could debate that because I just keep on. I think other aim still as good, but I mean, but that's a debate between keyboard and controllers, man. Although we think keyboard and mouse is better, we still don't want control players saying, "Oh yeah, but y'all have an advantage." Now we don't.
They're at least on Call of Duty side, they have the advantage of using the NVIDIA and expanding their field of view. They have their lightness and darkness, things like that.
They actually changed it now. They actually changed it now, though, because console you could expand the field of view now. So they made it more balanced, though. But yeah, man, like cross-platform, bro. A lot of people I see, though, giving me a bunch of stuff that they don't want to see cross-platform at all.
I kind of don't want to see it either. It's like one side of me thinks it's better for the community as a whole, for us to be able to connect. But then when I think 2K, this is real problem here. When I think 2K managing cross-platform, I see nothing but problems. Until we get a few releases. This is why I got into doing the work early thing, because similar to their interior defense, 2K is a game that doesn't seem to do their work early and I done this no shots is my experience as a gamer. If they did their work early, they'll be able to drop a game, very limited patches. We used to play a game where there was very limited patches throughout the year. As the years progress, we're getting more and more patches, which means to me that they're not doing their work early and they're adjusting along the way.
Or it could be that now that social media had get to a point that we have direct access, they might be getting more feedback on the problems.
Big facts.
Whereas back then, the social media was now coming about, so we wasn't that together. We wasn't that together, the community, everyone in their own little crew and whatever. But we never used to go and just bash, yo, 2K, y'all need to fix this, y'all need to fix that, yo, this is the problem, that's the problem, yo, why y'all not fixing this? So now it could be that as well.
Definitely, that makes perfect sense.
Same problem.
Big facts. That makes perfect sense. The just the processing of information is it's just readily available now, so they could get a.
Oh, you right.
But put it like this: if they did their work early, then there'll be a ton of game testers in there to be able to test this stuff out. So that way, you feel what I'm saying? But it's not even more so game testers. They need a large community base. A large community base of game testers, not just one game tester or 10 game testers, a community base, so that way we could get all these different styles of gameplay and see what can and can't be exploited. So that way they don't have to make patches.
And that's one of the biggest, that's one of my biggest gripe with them when they stop dropping the game for us early. But when they used to drop it for us early, and just even if they just give us the builder, by the time, you know how content creators, where you will see the video, here's the move that will give you speed, here's a build that it's an exploit that will break the game. First day, you already found out the exploit already that will break the game. Yes, that's what we do as a community. So when they took that away and they dropped the game on release day, guess what they got to deal with? All these glitches and stuff that they could have found out if they just drop a little something early. Now they had to do it live in time, and they just never seem to be prepared for it.
Yeah, and that's what worries me about cross platform gameplay is that if they can't get it right on release date with 20 years of experience, then what are my expectations as a gamer first, before being a content creator? What are my expectations for a cross-platform gameplay? I feel like 2K will drop a game where Xbox players will end up in my house. Literally, we'll have straight Xbox player just laying right beside me. Like, that's how it feels, man. It just feels like you would experience some wild stuff.
In all fairness, it's the same concerns people have with COD. Think about it. Because I came from the COD community before I started doing 2K, and these were the same things we were saying, like the stability issues, this, that, you know what I mean? Just problems. And COD did it, and it's a success. You know what I mean? So
there's hope.
Yeah, I get you. There is hope. That's the thing. There is hope. There is hope, but at the same time, it's 2K.
It's 2K. Facts. It's hard to, let us know. Is it hard? What do you guys think? Is it hard to kind of let go of what 2K has become, like made their staple? It just seems like 2K is they're not the kid in class getting A's. Although their sales are like A+. As far as what they're presenting us, it doesn't seem like they're the kid that's in class getting A's sitting in the front of the classroom. To me, 2K seems more like, and I'm not trying to battle you, 2K. Consider this constructive criticism from the gameplay that we get from you guys, especially 2K21 to 2K22, and then actually dropping a beautiful project in 2K22 and scraping it with patches and giving us what we have right now. It just seems like you're the guys who are sitting in the back of the classroom, just barely passing.
Wait. All right. I like where you're going with this. And this is where we're going to close it off. Where would you grade 2K right now?
I spoke about this, and right now, I like exactly why I brought that up is because I give them a C. They are the kid in the class sitting in the back, just passing. They're lucky. But they could make it better. But the reason why it's a C for me, I'll break it down. Hopefully, you can give your grade too. But the reason why it's a C for me is because I was there in the beginning. I was there, and I'm not talking about the beginning of 2K. I'm more so speaking about the what do you call it? Course side reports. Yeah, the course side reports speaking about defense. Watching and being so pleased with the release of 2K22 and how they implemented this new defensive type gameplay. And just being so happy of thinking I'm going to go through a year of learning, and then the offense is going to have to go through a year of learning and adapting to this defense. And they scraped it, and they promised us they were totally aware, because Mike Wang's tweet was something along the lines of, when he dropped the patch, don't worry, we're not touching gameplay. Something along those lines, right? So totally aware that the community was so pleased with the gameplay, and they made the adjustments, and it was like it's just the wrong direction. So that's why I got it in C. Please let me know what you thinking of, Brute. I want to definitely hear what you say. What grade would you give him?
I would have to agree with you, man. And the reason why I have to agree with you, because number one, I'm a My Career player. I love My Career usually. I think this year they killed My Career completely. Wow. They killed it. Because what I was hoping for, that they reward people playing My Career. At least you don't have to give them the same progression as the park and the rec or whatever, but make people feel like, if I'm playing, I'm not losing time that I could be spending in the park. You know what I mean? So give them some rep progression as well, or some XP progression to get them to that legend status as well. So now people could spend more time instead of going out there and fighting with randoms and stressing yourself out. Yo, let me go when my friends ain't on, and let me go in my chill, play against some stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not stressful, so I could enjoy that exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I thought they would go with that route. And it did say that the quest, they will give you some quests that will give you some, some, but the rep is not significant enough, and it's not enough quest either. Right? So I think they definitely dropped the ball on that. So My Career is dead this year. People are just playing because they're just playing it. But there is no real need to pull someone like me who's been playing My Career, who always enjoy the story mode that come with My Career. Some people say they don't enjoy story mode in My Career. They put in a feature where you could skip it, so they solve that easily. If you don't like the story mode, whatever. But that's that for me as a My Career player. I had to drop the grade for that. Number two, what you mentioned, the patch on the defense. That's a next huge job for me, man. So that's 2 grade right there, A and B drop. Where I thought it was an A game from the beginning of the year, and just how much fun I was having, which it probably shouldn't be, because of My Career situation, it should have been a B or something like that. But just because of how much fun I was having with the balance of the game. Yeah, so I would have to agree with you and give it a C grade.
You're talking about 2 veterans, bro. 2 veterans that played the game for years. What did you rate it when it first came out?
Bro, I was giving it the top, bro. I was like, this is one of the best.
Same here.
And I'm still enjoying the game, don't get me wrong.
Same here.
But I'm only enjoying it in the rec. I gotta call it what it is. I'm only enjoying it in the rec.
So you're saying an A when it first came out? A plus, A?
Yeah, I would have given it an A. I would have given it an A.
Same here.
I would have, but because I did say this is one of the best 2Ks. I'm go through my tweets. I was like, bro, this 2K, please don't touch it. This is one of the best. I mean, so I do agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and just to add to that, another reason, before we close out, another reason why I lean toward it being a C, because of these changes, it forced a ton of players with these patches. It forced a ton of players to create new builds.
Yeah.
Add inflation costs on that as well. Is costing you a lot of money out your pocket to create that new build just to be able to compete with the new game that 2K puts in front of you after they drop a patch. That has to hurt.
Right.
That has to
That's
hurt.
right. This is the most I've spent on a 2K ever. Not even close. The most I've ever spent on 2K ever. And I said before in one of my videos, my wife came and asked me what I was doing. I was like, yeah, I'm about to create the next player. How much does it cost? She just casually asked. She was like, damn. She was like, yo, so what about kids that parents just bought the game for them?
Yeah.
Like 2K gotta do better. She said that.
Yeah. This just
she's not even like she don't know most of the stuff that I do, to be honest with you. She don't even care because that's not where I do my thing with gaming. But she just like, yo, 2K gotta do better.
Because you don't expect a kid to imagine kids walking around with $70 in their pocket just off a whim, just like, yo, they're going to the candy store with $70 in their pocket. We don't expect this.
Get the money, man.
Yeah.
But 2K don't care about that. They just keep making the game more expensive every year. Yeah. You're right, man. You're right on that one, man. All right. So, anyways, man, we're gonna close off right there, man. You got any final thoughts for the people, my G?
Final thoughts for the people. Please keep your fingers crossed, man. Hopefully 2K could kind of revert back, peel back, or at least put back some of the layers, I should say, that we once had when 2K22 first dropped. We could bring it back to that game one, that day one gameplay balance, and hopefully bring back the fun. Bring back the fun. We don't want to see this goofiness happening, and we just got to keep our fingers crossed that 2K will get it right. Videos and podcasts like this will definitely help offer 2K some constructive feedback to kind of reference when they're considering changes. So please drop a like if you enjoyed this podcast. Consider subscribing to both me and Brute, and let's keep this thing going, man. The Brutal City Podcast. Appreciate you guys, All City fam and Brute Squad. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all. That's well said, my G. I ain't got nothing else to add on that. We're gonna close out. Have a blessing. Peace.
Easy,